A federal judge has warned Carnival that she plans to hold the cruise line to specifics in its probation, which would mean the line would have to certify that all of its ships are compliant to certain environmental standards 60 days before sailing in the U.S. Meanwhile, the Carnival sensation sailed with passengers again recently. Well, sort of. We'll talk about it in a minute. And also look at where all the Carnival cruise ships are currently located around the globe during this cruising shutdown. Hello everyone, it's Wednesday, October 21st. This is Adventures in Coriolis, and it's time for some cruise news. Carnival cruise ship style. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. If you're new, I invite you to take a moment and subscribe. Now, let's get to this news. Carnival Corporation has been on probation since 2017 for violating environmental laws when it was discovered its Princess cruise ships were dumping oily waste into the ocean for a period of about 8 years. Now back then, the corporation paid $40 million in fine, but just 2 short years later, and it was busted again, and this time it paid another $20 million in fines. Well, now a federal judge is putting the pressure on Carnival for its crimes, as she is contemplating making her 60-day warning official any day now. Now this would mean Carnival, specifically Carnival Cruise Line, would have to notify the judge 60 days in advance of any of its ships sailing from U.S. waters again, which would mean the ship would have to be certified that it's in compliance with these environmental standards. Carnival's lawyers asked the judge to delay this ruling, given the pandemic and the economic strain currently on the company. Now the judge wants to ensure that ships have the proper pollution-preventing equipment, critical environmental spare parts, staffing, voyage planning software, and to vet the waste vendors on shore. Now there's no word yet on whether or not the ruling will become official, but if it does, it will impact the return to sailing of Carnival ships. The line recently canceled all November cruises, with an anticipated return to sail date now being November the 1st. However, if the judge's ruling becomes official, it would take a 2 months notice before any of Carnival ships could sail again, meaning as of the publication of this video on October the 21st, if the ruling becomes official, the earliest a Carnival Cruise Line ship could sail for the U.S. would be only days before the Christmas holiday. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the ruling, and if you have any cruises booked for December, are you afraid that if the judge makes this ruling official, that'll impact your cruise? The Carnival sensation made headlines this past week after rescuing 24 people off a sinking boat off the coast of Florida. The sensation noticed the small boat struggling in international waters just some 37 miles off the coast of Palm Beach, Florida last Sunday. The sensation, like all Carnival ships at this time, is not sailing any passengers due to the ongoing pandemic and the shutdown as a result of that. Now, the sensation aided the sinking boat and provided supplies, including blankets, life jackets, food, and water to the passengers on board. Now, once the sensation crew noticed the smaller boat taken on water, the 24 passengers were rescued and allowed to come on board the cruise ship, where after being looked over by the medical team, they were quarantined away from crew members on the sensation. Now, not long after the passengers, which included some children, were brought onto the sensation, they were then picked up by the U.S. Coast Guard and taken to shore. Kudos to Carnival for taking care of those passengers. And check out my recent vlog series on the sensation. I'll put a pop-up link here that'll take you to that video. She's a great ship. Glad she's still sailing as one of the last few fantasy class ships left in the fleet. And speaking of Carnival ships, which has basically been the theme of this entire video, where are they all at now? Recently, the pandemic had the Carnival fleet spread all over the world, as a majority of the ships were used to take crew members that were stuck on board the ships in the shutdown home once borders were closed and flights were canceled. Well, recently I got curious about the current location of the fleet, so thought we'd take a look at the ships and where they are hiding out around the world during the pandemic and resorting cruise shutdown. So let's take a look at that now. So we're going to use the website Cruise Mapper to actually find out where these ships are. It'll actually show you the latest position of the ship the last time that it registered its GPS, so it's pretty cool. So let's get into it now and see where some of these Carnival ships are currently located. So this is what you get when you actually come to the website. You see over here you have all of the cruise lines around the world, and if you look around the Bahamas here, you actually see a lot of the cruise ships from a lot of the various different lines are actually centered here well off the coast of Florida, and certainly in the Bahamas. Here's a vessel sailing the Celebrity Summit, and here's one in port. I think how this works, if you see the little pointy ship here, this is actually a ship that's currently moving, it's underway, and then the ones that are a dot here, like the Celebrity Apex, is currently docked in the port of Miami. So that's just a cool way how you can differentiate whether a ship's underway or whether it's docked when you look at this website. So when we zoom out, you see a lot of ships scattered around the Bahamas area. And we'll continue to zoom out a little bit more before we get into specifics. Here's some ships down near the Panama Canal in Central America, and then we got some ships over in Europe, a couple here in Spain, Italy, and then Finland. I wonder what ship that is up there in Finland. We'll have to zoom in and find out what that one is. I think I already know. I do already know, actually, but I'll let you guys know. And then some over here near Singapore. So let's start here near Singapore and see who's hanging out over here. Right here we have the Carnival Splendor. You see it's right near Singapore. And it'll tell us, weather, how many passengers. There's no passengers right now. The year built. That's pretty cool. And then the Carnival Spirit up here also just off the coast of Singapore. So both of these are ships that sail from Australia. So they're just in the area, just hanging out right now because, as I said, those Australia sailings aren't going right now either. So now let's come up here to Finland and the city of Turku to see Carnival's newest ship, or soon-to-be newest ship, the Carnival Mardi Gras. Now, the Carnival Mardi Gras has been constructed, and it's now has a GPS beacon because it did recently complete its sea trials. So it's pretty exciting to see that the ship is officially, at least, where cruise mapping and cruise tracking are concerned, part of the family. So welcome, Carnival Mardi Gras. We're very glad to have ya. All right, so that's up in Northern Europe. And we saw some other ships in Italy. Let's go there now and see who's hanging out down here in Italy. Just off the coast of Rome, the Carnival Valor and the Carnival Magic. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that this is right. The Carnival Valor and Carnival Magic, it was recently announced, would not return to service until the spring of 2021 because they're going to go into an extended period of dry dock. So they must have sent them over to Europe to undergo dry dock. Typically when Carnival puts their ships into dry dock for any type of refurbishments, they're sent to the Bahamas, usually Freeport, I think. But somewhere in the Bahamas, so they don't have to do transatlantic sailings. That's a long time. It takes a long time, a couple of weeks to get over and back. So this time it looks like they're sending them over to Europe. Let's see, what do we got here? On the coast of Spain. Oh, we know what this one is. It's showing up as the Carnival Radiance. It used to be the Carnival Victory. It's sort of like what happened to the Sunshine and the Sunrise. They were going to spend this, north of $200 million in refurbishments for the ship, the Carnival Radiance. It was supposed to have already premiered by now as the Carnival Radiance, but of course, because of the pandemic and the economic disruptions that the cruise line has undergone due to that, it's been put on hold. So the ship is now actually being re-outfitted, totally redone in Spain. And when it comes back out, fingers crossed that it does come back out and is reintroduced into the fleet, it will be the Carnival Radiance. And I think they're going to send it over to California and Long Beach to take over some of the routes and itineraries that the Imagination and the Inspiration were sailing, which of course RIP to those because they're now being scrapped in Turkey. And then next to that we have the Fascination, which is I think a Carnival Ghost because I think the Fascination is one that's being sold off for scrap, or it's being sold as well. So that's probably why it's in Europe as well. Hanging out. Either it's been sold to another line that's going to refurbish it, or it's going to also take the same fate as the Fantasy, the Inspiration, and Imagination and be sent to that scrapyard in Turkey. So that's the ships in Europe and Asia. Quite a bit of the fleet, actually. It's very odd to see that many ships in that part of the world. So now let's take a look at these ships that are down in the Panama Canal region. I don't think they're going through the Panama Canal. They're on the Pacific side. So let's see. We have the Carnival Panorama, which is a Long Beach, California ship. It's a West Coast ship. Of course, currently Carnival's newest ship. I think it only sailed for like a month and a half or maybe a couple months of sailings in before the cruise shut down. So still a brand new ship, basically. It anchored just near the Panama Canal. Also, here is the Carnival Miracle. It looks like the Miracle was anchored right near the Panorama and is now sailing. Let's see, at a speed of 10 knots. It's yeah, so it's sailing away from the Panama Canal and the Panorama. So I don't know where it's headed, but maybe it's on the move. So cruisemapper.com, again, not sponsored. You might want to check that out in the coming days and see where the Miracle's headed. In port in Freeport is the Carnival Conquest. I'm not sure if she was undergoing renovations or not. I don't think so. We also have the Carnival Paradise, the Carnival Sunshine, the Carnival Glory, the Legend. These ships are all moving right now. The Sensation there, the Elation, the Sunrise, and then anchored here are the Liberty, the Breeze, the Vista, the Carnival Freedom, and the Carnival Ecstasy, all anchored here. So within, I don't know, probably 50 miles, 100 miles at least, of 100 miles at most of one another, is a good chunk of the Carnival fleet just hanging out in the Bahamas. Now let's take a look. Like I said, you can see the track, so let's take a look at the Sensation. She's currently just moving around there. Of course, when these ships can't just be anchored for months and months and months, it's not good for the ships. They have to be underway and moving around a little bit, so I'm sure they move them on a schedule. But it looks like the Sensation has been up and down the coast of Florida recently. And look at this. This is interesting because this is around the 17th or 18th of October, so right around when she picked up that sinking boat just off the coast of Florida. See, here's Palm Beach. Remember, that's where it happened. And you'll notice right here, this must be where it happened, because you can see the ship was sailing and then it sort of turned around here. So I'm sure this is where they picked up those passengers. So that's pretty cool that we can see that in the past track of the ship. And then there's other ships here. The Sunrise, you can see the Glory. And they've all made this similar pass as they've just drawn. You can see they've all made this similar pass as they've driven around recently, just up and down the coast of Florida, just offshore of the Bahamas. The Legend, the Liberty. So yeah, that's where the Carnival fleet is all around the world. There's a couple ships over near Singapore. There's 4 or 5 Carnival ships in and around Europe for various reasons. But most of the Carnival fleet remains down in the Bahamas. Thank you to cruisemapper.com. Again, I don't know why I keep mentioning that, not sponsored, but it's a good website. So check it out, visit it. You see the great information you get from it. I thought it was cool for this purpose to use it. I want to thank you all for watching this cruise news centered around Carnival cruise ships. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll please give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, I encourage you to please subscribe. I have a lot of cruise content coming. In fact, just this past week, I booked on the inaugural sailing of the Carnival Mardi Gras. That's going to be sailing on February the 6th, so I'm excited already to bring you guys the cruise vlog series from the inaugural sailing of the Carnival Mardi Gras. And in the months, few months now, it's amazing. It's about 100 days until that sailing. I hope to bring you a lot of content about the Carnival Mardi Gras as we look forward to that. So make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of that. And fingers crossed that the Mardi Gras sails on time. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next adventure.